Hi, welcome back to the in between, that messy, magical place between what was and what is yet to be. My name is Camille. We are inside the change cycle, which is the first area of change. There are five: the change cycle, the inner landscape, the helpers, the invitation, and the unseen forces. We've already talked about the first element of change, which is cracked open. And a lot of us are feeling that these days. Also, keep in mind as you're watching these videos, this is not linear. Change is not linear. It spirals, it goes up and down, it goes straight, it curves, and many times there are multiple things happening at the same time. And so that's why one of my favorite phrases is to stretch the canvas wide enough to include all of it. Today, I want to talk about sacred disruption. You may say, that's a weird way to talk about disruption. Yeah, it is in the old design model. But in the new design model, we have given ourselves permission to reimagine human experiences, situations, and conditions in a way that aligns with us and helps us navigate uncertainty. In the new design model, we've given ourselves permission to redefine these words like chaos, confusion, uncertainty, and disruption in a way that aligns with what we now know change is really all about. Sacred disruption arrives many times without any notice. It can be a life changing diagnosis. It could be the loss of a family member, someone who dies without any notice. Maybe a partner comes to you and tells you that they're no longer interested in being in the relationship. Maybe you go to your job only to find out that you've been let go. This is what we call sacred disruption. And the reason why we can say it's sacred is because in the new design model, we truly believe that everything is rigged in our favor. Because we are in alignment with our evolution, because we are here to witness the transformation of the old version of ourselves into a new version of ourselves, we truly believe, and we've done the work to believe it, that everything is happening for our highest and greatest good. Now, that's not to say any one of those disruptions won't knock you off your feet, because they very well may. That's not to say that finding out that your partner wants to leave doesn't cause a punch in the gut and an outrageous heartbreak. It doesn't mean that if you go to work and you lose your job, that you're not going to be freaked out and in shock and need time to process what has happened. All of that is necessary, healthy, and part of the new design model. What's different is how long we stay there. What's different is how long we allow disruption to take the wind out of our sails. What's different is that in the new design model, we're no longer a victim. In the old design model, we hear things like, or we ourselves may have said things like, why does this always happen to me? Why is this happening to me again? I can never catch a break. In the new design model, we've burned our victim card and we stand fully in the role as the co-creator of our lives. In the new design model, we have developed, strengthened, and invested in our relationship with the invisible source of our life, an intelligence that is always responsive and responding to us in a language that we can understand. So, this is how we're able to call this divine rearrangement of our lives, as severe as it is, a sacred disruption, where we eventually say, well, something must need the room. My bloom must need more space. I guess this has run its course in my life. The other thing that's really incredible in the new design model is that we've put this work into aligning ourselves with change so that we can be in partnership with change instead of thinking that something is happening to us, instead of thinking that life is acting against us. We do the deep dive into our past. We heal our relationship to change that was created when we were little kids, 0 to 7 years old, so that we can now be healthy, mature adults that understand what change is and have an active relationship with it. And so, if you're going through disruption, if you're experiencing any of the things I've spoken about today, if you look out in the world of effects, like I am doing with you, and see the outrageous, historical, incredible disruption that is going on, it's extremely helpful to give yourself permission to believe that even though we may not understand it, even though our minds may push back and say it can't be true, we are willing to believe that the seeds of the new are in that which is collapsing. I always go back to the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and the butterfly. It's incredible to me that the imaginal cells, the cells that imagine and know the butterfly, are literally in the caterpillar. And when the caterpillar begins to spin that silk chrysalis around itself so that it can die to itself and be in an atmosphere that can hold the chaos, that can hold the disruption, that can be the fertile ground for those seeds and those imaginal cells to take root, there is nothing more sacred than that. The metamorphosis of the old version of ourselves into the new version of ourselves many times requires sacred disruption. And so when you are in a healthy relationship to change, you are able to get back up on your feet more quickly from the severity and the shock that disruption can bring to our lives. And we can then consider these new definitions, stand more firmly in our new belief system that tells us that no matter what it looks like on the surface, no matter the appearance, no matter what the mind wants to convince me is actually happening, my heart knows that this sacred disruption is divine reorganization for my greater good. So I hope that some of this can help you look through a fresh new lens at the disruption that is taking over your life. I hope that you're able to consider what new seeds might be in this disruption that has taken your attention. Which version of yourself had to die in order for the new version of you to have the space to emerge? These are powerful, powerful times. And if you're in sacred disruption, know that you are not alone, because you, like me, are in the in-between.